Get ready to settle in for an entertaining 4 quarters. The AFC NFC Pro Bowl underway from Las Vegas. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So out comes the NFC for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the poster boys for persistence and belief in self. Because coming out of high school, he had 0 scholarship offers in the D1 level, went to a junior college, went to Cal and just blew up there. And then, of course, as a first-round draft pick, but a lot lower than what he expected in the first round, and then had to sit behind Brett Favre for a few years in Green Bay before getting his shot. Now he's probably one of the better quarterbacks that we've seen come down the pipe.
Heck of a start, a 30-yard pickup on their first play from scrimmage. Boy, Dalvin Cook just so explosive in the open field. He's not a small guy either, but once he gets those legs churning, look out.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one better than 20 miles an hour. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Flushed out right. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. DeAndre Hopkins, 45 yards. And the NFC has taken the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Rolling to his left. He'll run it, and he will get in to make it 8-0.
That makes the score.
They wasted no time showing how aggressive they're going to be in this game. They get the quick score, and then they go for 2, CD.
Surf's up, partner. And when surf's up, you ride the wave. They felt great about that quick drive, put it in the end zone. Why not go for 2? They felt comfortable with the play call that they had.
And the home crowd loves it. From the 10. And they'll have good field position here as he's out of bounds up at about the 34-yard line. So here comes the AFC for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the MVP of the National Football League in 2018, the former Texas Tech Red Raider, Patrick Mahomes.
I've been told time and time again by a lot of big-time quarterback gurus that a big arm isn't even close to what they're looking for as the #1 quality and what makes a QB. But let's face it, when you see a guy with a big arm, you get excited. And Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Every throw in the...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
A loss of 8 yards.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after him.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
On 2nd down now. It's Henry, and he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. 8 yards there helps, but they're still stuck now. 3rd and long coming up.
3rd down.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And that is incomplete.
Intended for Travis Kelce.
And this is too far behind his man. He missed him. It's incomplete. The AFC punt team out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. So now we'll get our second look in this game at the NFC offense. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. From the 36, Rodgers setting up the screen for Cook. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards there, first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
On first down, Rodgers, the veteran Stephon Gilmore able to break that one up.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Give him 23 yards on the pickup, and it'll give him a fresh set of downs. Rodgers not pleased with the setup. He's going to take a timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. 1 quarter down, 8-0 the score.
AFC nothing.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. And he is in. Touchdown NFC. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the NFC adds on to their lead. Great play, but admittedly, the tackling in the Pro Bowl, Charles, not always the best.
I would say that they're not quite as committed to getting a guy on the ground in the Pro Bowl as maybe during the regular season and, of course, in the playoffs. But still, heck of an individual effort there on that run.
Here comes Rodgers now as he'll go for the 2-point conversion. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good. Well, split the difference, and they're right where they would have been with 2 PATs. They got the 2-point conversion the first time. They failed there.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the first time you go after your first score, that feels like a gamble. The second time when they tried it again, that felt like, what the heck, right? Because, as you said, even if you miss it, you split the difference, and you're right on schedule at 14 points.
So now the AFC offense here coming back out for their second drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
If they open things up, let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Henry And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
They set up the screen for Henry, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. 2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Aaron Rodgers, we focus on him for our Players Spotlight. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Xavier Howard on the coverage.
Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers. It got his man complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. It's a big play that time for the NFC. 42 yards.
Able to hit on a big play right there in the 2-minute drill. And now they've got a chance to use all the remaining clock and build on their lead right before halftime.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Caught left side, Hopkins. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
NFC first down. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
And again, it's Rodgers. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. DeAndre Hopkins with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the NFC able to widen their advantage. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
So the 2-point conversion trend continues, at least as far as trying those goes. They've attempted them after all 3 touchdowns, CD, and converted now 2 of them.
They're not just dipping their toe in the water, are they? I mean, they're committed to going for 2 points, and 2 out of 3, now with a 22-0 lead. In a sense, they're a little bit ahead of the curve, because normally it would be 21, wouldn't it?
And with the way their defense is playing, I don't know if it matters if they do convert any of these. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The AFC takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
The AFC offensive unit getting set to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Looking to throw again on second down. Mahomes. It's complete to Brown, right side. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their second as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Mahomes to throw once more. And he's able to find Diggs. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Now the AFC going to use their final timeout of the half as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. Patrick Mahomes in the final seconds of the first half. And the AFC able to cut into the lead.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will cut the lead down to 15. So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. So this will make it into the end zone. And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line.
First and 10.
The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we've reached halftime of the 29th. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it.
22, AFC 7.
The AFC going to get the ball first as we are back underway on EA Sports. Roberts on the return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The AFC takes over first and 10. At their own 20.
The AFC offense now set to start this third quarter. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
At the 38-yard line.
To throw, it's Mahomes. And he cannot get rid of it. The NFC getting in there for the sack.
And that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
10 at the 40-yard line.
On first down, Henry. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's say, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
From midfield, here's Mahomes. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And they do finally get him. but he makes it all the way to the 6. A big play there for the AFC, 45 yards. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the AFC able to get a bit closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. Even later into his career now, there aren't too many guys that can launch it downfield with accuracy better than Aaron Rodgers.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football, and this is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
Yeah, and you see the final number there on how far that ball traveled. Pretty impressive. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Rodgers now on 1st down. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Metcalf once again the target. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. He goes right back to Metcalf, this time complete. And touchdown! DK Metcalf, 33 yards. And the NFC adds on to their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful.
AFC 14.
So the signal caller doing it himself there on the 2-point try.
You got to like that. We always talk about the ball staying in the hands of the best players, but most of the time you want to get it to a back, pitch it to a wide receiver. In this case, the quarterback did it himself.
Set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Roberts now on the return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The AFC takes over 1st and 10. At their own.
The AFC about ready to take over on offense. And it's great to see the stars all out in one place, but in terms of football, what's really great to see is a very entertaining Pro Bowl as we are tied in the 4th quarter.
And how many of these guys thought going into this game, after a pretty easy week heading into it, that the pressure would ratchet up now and someone has to make a play, which means someone will have a play made against them and not have to live with that for the rest of the year.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he will score. Touchdown NFC. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the NFC, they take advantage of the interception. They turn it into 6 points.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Here comes Rodgers now as he'll go for the two-point conversion. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth. And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Youngway Koo set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Roberts on the return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
The AFC takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Buda Baker there on the coverage.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And that will be incomplete.
They'll probably spend a little extra time dissecting the game film after this one. I think the part of their plan was to hit them over the top of the deep ball. They've been unsuccessful all night.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. He's going to let it fly. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the NFC is going to get the football back in excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Being chased out left. And he's going to keep it. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it to the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
Here comes Rodgers now as he'll go for the two-point conversion. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Forced out to his left. And boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the backflip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
And this is going to be secured by the AFC. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. On first down, Mahomes. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Now it's Henry. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
He's brought down at the 15.
Now here's Mahomes. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. A big seam, and he might go all the way. Past the 20. And he's going to go down as time has now run out on this game. So, Charles, a victory for the NFC. Final thoughts on this Pro Bowl?
We had some fun, didn't we?
Absolutely.
A lot of excitement, some big plays to watch, a lot of those great matchups that we don't get to see during the regular season because sometimes teams don't play against each other. And, oh, by the way, no one got hurt. There's the win for everyone. I think the fans enjoyed this one.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaughan, and this has been a presentation of the NFL.